activity.
Out of the 8 hubs that were set to be established in the program, 6 hubs have been launched in the first phase to offer youth and women across the region access to services and facilities, access to finance, business advisory, and technical assistance, as well as access to
na kuku na kwa hivyo tumeweza kusomesha watoto wetu, tumeweza kujiinua kidogo maisha yetu. Wengine hata wametoka mtaani, wale walikuwa naishi kwa mtaa wameweza kutoka mtaani kupitia hiki kikundi na hii project.
As Agribiz Dairies, I have converted from a sole proprietorship into a limited liability company. I have my own logos, I have my own website, that's courtesy of KCIC. I have been able to transition into proper value addition. We've been going for training at DTI Naivasha, and now I can do the full range of value addition products. Been trained even to do ice cream. We can do ghee, we can do butter, we can give you better quality yogurt. Initially, our yogurt wouldn't pass KEBS the standards, but now I am confident to stand and say I can do a product that can compete against the major brands in the market because we have been trained.
Since I joined Agribiz, they have really helped me because they approved a grant of 1.2 million, which is for equipment. They have bought for me peeler, which I am using to peel the sugar cane, and they have even bought for me an extraction machine. Since then, we have really improved in what we are doing because we have been doing now a ton. A ton is taking like 3 days. Before, it used to take 5 days.
The program has boosted the Kenyan economy by creating 17,268 direct and indirect jobs, with 16,389 smallholder farmers being supported in the first phase of the program.
We've been able to support close to about 126 entrepreneurs since we launched in 2020. The first cohort was being supported from Nairobi, but the second cohort was supported actually from here.
I think when you look at what has happened, KCAC making the call for applications the last 1 year and close to 2 years actually, and we have a cohort of 198 enterprises that we have supported so far.
We continue receiving over 1,000 quality applicants every year who are yearning for the few slots available in the Agribiz program annually. It is in our utmost desire to support most, if not all, of the applications we receive, but we are limited by resources. We believe you will join us in putting smiles into the faces of more other youth and women beyond the first phase of the Agribiz program.
Testing. Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. Are you guys ready? So don't worry. Let's have some energy. It's just a small pit stop. See the way there's a rally. Then you've been running, you reach somewhere, they have to change tires, fix before you go. So that's what will happen today. So it's not anything to really worry about. So we just want to hear your stories. I know you've done some fantastic work. And what you've done actually is just about continuous improvement. And I always have this principle that continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Because I may want to create this bottle and take it to the market, but because every day I look at it, it doesn't look nice, I crash it. So maybe it takes 5 years still crashing it, and somebody comes and take theirs to the market, and they keep on improving. So we'll also want to hear those stories. I'd also request if we have our judges, if they can come and have a seat on this table, the one in the middle, the round one. Yeah, so just a few housekeeping issues. In terms of our tea, it will be on this door. You get to that door, that's where we'll have our tea. Our lunch will be upstairs, just for your information. And in case you need to wash the washrooms out to the right, that's where we have our washrooms. So I just want to have a volunteer who can pray for us before we start our session. Any volunteer? Oh, yeah, okay. For our finalists, I'm sure you're 10. They're 10, huh? Jabez? They're 10, huh? In terms of representation countrywide, let me see who comes from coast. Anyone from the coastal region? Kwale, Kilifi, Mombasa, Kilifi, Kwale. So that's a good. Mombasa. Eastern, yeah, from Makueni, Machakos. The northern frontier, yeah, Male, Garissa. Rift Valley, Wasingishu, Kericho, Wasingishu, Kericho. Former Nyanza region, Kisii, that area. Yeah, we have Homa Bay. Western, yeah, Bungoma. Where have I left? Masai Land, Kajiado, Narok, none. So I think we have a fairly good representation of participants countrywide. So at this moment, I just want to invite Gilbert, who will give us some brief introduction of how the journey has been. Then we continue from there. Welcome, Gilbert.
Good morning, everyone. It's been my absolute pleasure to walk you through this journey of this competition. I got to learn so many new business ideas. I got to make 40 new friends from all over Kenya, and I got to make a new family within KCIC. Today, we have the finals. 10 of you who are already in the KCIC Vijana and Agribiz program. But at the end of the day, we're going to have 3 winners walking with us some checks away. Please, I want you to give the judges a hard time making that decision. Make me proud. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Gilbert, for that. So I'm sure Gilbert has taken you through a number of topics. He has prepared you well. So I'm sure you know how you can pitch your business, how you can present your financials, you can present your team, looking at the go-to-market strategy. I will also be a judge. I'll not award marks, but I'll be the silent one. So I'll also be looking at the judge how they award marks, now that I'll be the prefect. We are expecting 2 other judges to come in. They should be here anytime. But I just also want to give an opportunity to the ones who are here to say something, so that you just hear their voice. So you're not so scared. So maybe I'll start with Patricia.
Good morning, everybody. Maybe I should stand up. I think I can be able to stand. Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Chwani. I'm a banker by profession. I've been working for the last 28 years, 26 of which with a local bank. Currently, I'm consulting where corporate foundations are concerned. Really what we're trying to do is to support corporate foundations to create shared value programs. And shared value programs is about creating business value while you do societal impact, so that we can support our country better. I'm really looking forward to listening to the pitches. I'm very excited about being here today. Congratulations to all of you for having reached this far. It's been a long journey. As someone has also said, we're also looking forward to learn from you as we learn from each other. So all the best, and I wish you a very good day. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Let me stand here now that has been said. My name is Christine Mwangi, and I work with WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature, coming from a conservation institution. I work with a program that focuses on catalyzing financial flows towards the development of sustainable infrastructure in Africa. You might be wondering then what I'm doing here. Part of that includes nature, because we use natural resources to protect or to enhance the resilience of infrastructure. But that aside, I am part of the KCIC family. And when Agribiz was beginning, I was actually at KCIC. So I am at home. And hi Jabez, sorry, I hadn't seen him. And I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this event. And to the participants, the 10 participants, you may not walk away with the top prize, but the journey you have walked is the most important. What you have learned through that journey, you would not have learned it unless you had taken an interest to take part in the competition. So all the best, and May the best winner win. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now we've been joined by a good friend of mine. He's called Mr. Felix Mwaki Magaju, although he doesn't like me calling him another name. Huh? But anyway, he'll tell you how he prefers to be called. He's the Director, Client Service, and I just want to invite him to give us some few remarks, and then we can continue from there. Mr. Felix.
What an introduction from you, Ernest, this morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, apologies for coming late. I was sorting out a few things. Now, I just remember 2 days ago we were here again looking at the semi-finals. And what a good opportunity to witness the 2023 finalists. Happy to see Patricia. No. Yeah. My old friend, Christine. Karibu sana. Now, I don't know where to start and where to end. You know, 2 days ago when I came here, Ernest, the kind of tension that was in the room was quite heavy. Today, there's a little bit of life in the room. So I hope the guys who are really fighting it very hard to first of all, to win the money. I said on Tuesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, that money is good. And then it's a fact that you win the money. But then after the money, what next? I think I gave you an example that day. There are some guys who won some money in KCC a couple of, I think 2 years ago. And today they are worse off than they started, or they, you know. So for me, this culminates a series of so many opportunities, activities, so to speak. And just my few remarks I wanted to make to you, all of us this morning. One is that some opportunities come once in a lifetime. I said some, not all. There are some opportunities that God grants you once in your lifetime. There are others. God is a gracious God. He'll give you a second opportunity, a third opportunity, depending on your level of faith. I think I need to be my good friend from Northeastern to translate for me, you know, so the people from the other faith can be able to understand what I'm trying to put across. And I remember on Wednesday I said that your level of effort determines what comes out of this exercise. Even for the ones out of the 24 who are not able to make it the top 10, I think for me, what I've learned the few years have been the social enterprise ecosystem. And I know this is a very contestable statement I'm about to make. Money is key, and thank God for money. But there are so many people today with money, they don't know what to do with it. There are so many people with opportunities, but they don't know what to do with it. And that is why I told you guys, ladies and gentlemen, that if I were you, I would go out of my way. If you really believed to come here and leave your bed, it's raining a lot nowadays, to come and see if you can snatch this opportunity and translate your idea into a practical business equivalent. Then guys, that's enough push for you to be able to make it. Whether you are number 10, whether you are number 20, it doesn't matter. I've ever gone to a competition and, you know, the donor says, give the guys money. If they want to go to Mombasa and have fun, they'll have fun. And you know what that statement makes to the young people? I don't blame you guys. It's good to have fun in this life once in a while. But I want to put a challenge to the people who are here. I say stand by saying money is good. But this opportunity today to be able to really interact with all these KCSE staff, I can say we are quite a number of us. If I were you, I would go with at least half of KCSE staff networks. If I were you, I don't know how many guys were able to really interact with them, with the judges that day. Today you are blessed to have, you know, when you hear a judge is in the final, that tells you that's higher level. Am I talking? Am I talking? This is higher level judges. So if I were you, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, what are you getting out of this conversation today? Do you just want to come, we see how nice you are dressed, you get the 10 million, or the 1 million, or 500,000, and then from there, what next? Do you have a plan? What's your game plan? Let me just remind you, the guy who was rejected by Agribiz, I had some good conversations with him past Wednesday. And he told me that he really struggled to get to know somebody in KCAC to be able to get his idea to get noticed. 2 years down the line, his company is worth 10 million Kenyan shillings. 2022, KCAC said no to him. And I told him, thank God I didn't even know him then. Maybe he would have made 1 or 2 phone calls. But those 2 phone calls could not have rescued him from the no. That's the truth. It's like today, if you are good friends with all the business analysts, with all the managers, and maybe Ernest is your cousin, he is MC today. When it comes to judging, I can tell you, you will not be around to be near that room. It's the amount of work and genuinity that you put into place that will rescue you, or that will, push you to the next level. One of the things that judges, I will say, I think I listened to a couple of pitches on Wednesday. I loved the innovations in the room. It's only that we didn't want to bring the judges here. They would have told you they underhand time. They actually took more time than we expected to be able to really give us the 10 finalists. That tells you, ladies and gentlemen, today, it looks like even it's a ladies' affair judges Wednesday. My hope today is, guys, I don't want to tell you some of the credentials of these judges. I think the MC will be able to do that, and I think some of them have been able to speak. Speak with confidence. If you believe in that business idea, and I always say, by the way, with or without KCAC support, if you really mean it, you always go forward. That's for a fact. But thank God that you have been able to get noticed by KCAC. What are you doing in that connection? Whether you are number 10 or number 24. There are so many people who are very good in picking up business cards. But the moment we finish this event today, you tag that business card somewhere, that becomes the head. That's the truth. No follow-up, no conversations. It's just there. You just want them to be happy with that business card. But today we are blessed to have so many of us in the room. I'm so happy that even our CEO has been able to make some time to come today. So for the people who have not believed that this is still a competition, when you have the man or the woman who sends the final check, at least there's some level of confidence that this thing is real. Sinukweli. You may have thought that all these guys are lying to you, they are trying to cook up things. There's a guy, I think last year, he told me, I never believed it till I came and I saw. Even if he never won, he thought it's a lie. So today we are quite blessed to have so many, to have our CEO here. It's a testament that he can tell you we have raised so many young people and women in agri business. So you are not an exception. I'm happy to see people from Mandera. You're from Mandera. That tells you agriculture is becoming and has become the next frontier. I like what the African Development Bank CEO talks about. He's so passionate about agriculture that, he says that this is, forget about the industrial revolution, forget about whatever that has gone before. Agri is becoming the main frontier in the world. Why? Because we are giving birth at a very big rate. The shambas are not expanding. The land space is not expanding. The hardened areas are, because of climate change, you know what is happening. And that means the arable land is shrinking by the day. And that means people have to become very innovative in terms of the way they think about production of food. and distribution of food. And one of the things, as I was coming, I was asking myself, that's the power of people who are in communication. We thank God for them. So I was saying, for the people who have been able to listen to Andesina, the president of the African Development Bank, he comes out very, very strong when it comes to food production and women empowerment. Because that's the frontier that you are in. Thank God for technology, which is and has always been and will always continue to be an enabler. But I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, technology will never replace food production. It will always enhance it. There must be somebody who is thinking about food production, whether from a primary perspective or value addition or whatever it is. People are thinking of innovative ways of putting food to the table. And the question to all of us, including even KCSE staff, how innovative are we becoming in terms of thinking through very creative ways of coming up with processes, procedures, coming up with programs, coming up with, innovative ways of doing things. Sometimes I always give this example. Some of us in our houses, or even people who are, I'm sure most of us stay in town. There are some of us who are used to, and I think that's where Christine falls, my good friend. When she is going to work, she has been following up one route to work for the last 5 years, 6 years. No diversion, no checking out how the other route is coming along. It's one way. I'm just reminded of my mother in the village, who frequently, she is used to doing things in a certain way. The moment you display something in her house, it becomes war. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that God has afforded you and I an opportunity to be able to make an impact in our current generation. Don't look at yourself as being young. Being young is not a curse. Being young in our current generation is actually a key advantage. And so my final thoughts, with this opportunity that God has given you and I to meet a partner called KCIC, who has been funded graciously by the EU and ANIDA, the question is, what are you doing with this opportunity? Once you leave here today, whether with the money or not with the money, there are people who came, I think last year, who were in this program. They were not able to become number 10, but when the call for applications came, they came on board KCAC, and they got even Aranja financing. You are surprised. You see that man behind there? That guy called Jabez. You have heard of his name. That man, ask him. He has the data, he can tell you. So the opportunity is not lost. It's how you package yourself. The opportunities are coming thick and thin. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for showing up today. We're looking forward to the next 2 hours to have the finals. And thank God that our judges are here. And I'm very eager to hear what has befallen you on Thursday and today in terms of you fine-tuning your pitches to ensure that the judges have been able to catch your attention. Otherwise, with those few remarks, I'm quite happy, and karibu sana on behalf of KCC management and the board. We're looking forward to having the final of along almost 2 months of conversations, activities, and even you guys taking your time to be able to apply for this opportunity. We thank God for you. Otherwise, with those 2 remarks, I'm looking forward to hearing you guys compete for the ultimate prize. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you, Felix, for those remarks. Before I invite our CEO, I just want to tell you a story. There was this farmer who had 2 cows. And I know all of you are farmers, since you're already Vijana and Agribiz. So I'll call you farmers for today, young farmers. So there was this farmer who had 2 cows. And there was this journalist who went to his farm and he wanted to find out how his cows are doing, what he feeds on his cows, how much milk the cows produce. So the interviewer goes to the farmer and asks, how much milk does your cow produce? Then the farmer replies, which one, the black one or the white one? Then the interviewer says the black one. Then the farmer goes, it produces 2 liters per day. Then the interviewers then ask, what about the white one? Then the farmer goes, 2 liters per day. And then he say, where do they sleep? Then the farmer asks, the black one or the white one? So and the interviewer says, the black one. So the farmer goes in the barn. Then the interviewer asks again, what about the white one? He also say, in the barn also. The interviewers then says, your cows look quite healthy. What do you feed them on? Then the farmer asks, which one? The black one or the white one? Then the farmer goes, the black one. So he says, I feed it on grass. And the interviewer asks, how about the white one? The farmer replies, the grass. So these guys become very furious. So he asks the farmer, but why do you keep asking whether it's the black one or the white one? Because all the answers you are giving relates to both of them. Then the farmer goes, because the black one is mine. And then the interviewer says, how about the white one? And then the farmer says, it's also mine. But anyway, that was just to spice you up. And I want to take this opportunity to invite our CEO, Mr. Joseph Murabula, to give us some remarks and also set the stage for the next activity. Welcome, Joseph.
Thanks, Ernest. So our distinguished judges, my KCSE colleagues, our participants, and everybody who's here, and all protocols observed, good morning. Good morning once more. Good. First of all, let me say I'm very happy to be here and to see a very enthusiastic team. I know you've been here for some time, literally the whole of this week, preparing for this day, and it has come, isn't it? Yes, they said, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So I hope everybody is happy, because the day the Lord has made is here, and the day that you get to put your best foot forward is right here, as it were. I think many of you are probably asking why we do this competition, because this is the third year we are doing this competition. Basically, the idea is to see what innovations are coming up around the country, around the agri-space. Innovations especially led by young people like yourselves, because we want to have a situation where we are able to identify the winning or the defining innovations around the agri-space that are coming out around the entire country. And this is the reason we set up hubs. Many of you are coming from different parts of the country, and at least you are able to access KCIC services through your hubs. You don't have to come to Nairobi, as it were. I know we brought all of you here, but all of you are identified by the hubs. Our teams at the hubs thought you are very good innovations, and we agree. You all have very good innovations. I know you've gone through various stages of this competition. You've been prepared, you've been mentored, and today we see the best 10. regardless of whether or not you are part of the best 10, you are still a winner, because you don't get this far out of the many applications that we got if you are not a winner. So I think, let me say that everybody in this room is a winner, and probably welcome you to clap for yourselves. Just to appreciate yourself. Good. Thank you. But just briefly highlight and to emphasize the point that you are all winners. As I mentioned, this is the third year we are doing this, and every year we see a lot more interest. In this year alone, I know at the semi-finals you are 24, at the finals today you'll be 10, but we received 2,900 applications. You can imagine 2,900 applications, everybody with a different innovation. So you begin to see, when we say you are a winner, you are truly a winner. What is 24 out of 2,900? It's probably less than 1%, isn't it? So you are in the top 1% of all the innovators in this country for this year. Clap for yourselves again. Because you are at the top, we commit ourselves to supporting you, especially the people that are presenting today. You will all be part of the next cohort of clients to be supported under the Agribiz program. And I'm sure my colleagues have already explained to you how all that works. And we don't just speak, we put our words into action. For the last 3 years, for the last 2 years that we've done that, because we've done this competition, because this is the third year, we've awarded 6 entrepreneurs who are now doing wonderful things out there. And luckily for us, they are all from all parts of this country. Generally, every part of the country is represented among the 6. Each one of you is a winner today, but the final 3 will walk away with the prize, isn't it? So all I am asking is that if you get your opportunity today, please take that opportunity and impress the judges, show them how yours is the best in class innovation and worthy of support. Because that is the innovation that in a few years' time will be doing, will be making waves in the Kenyan economy. If we trace the KCIC journey, we now know that there are people who started off with the ideas, brought them to a competition, subjected those ideas to a judging panel, got the support of KCIC and other organizations, and now they are doing turnovers of hundreds of millions and supporting very many jobs. And because they support those many jobs, they also support a lot of families. And that's the sort of impact that we are looking for. So what I'm hoping to see is that all of you who are pitching today, in 3 years from now, I'll be able to visit your enterprises, and then you tell me that from the idea that you saw me pitching, from the idea that you supported, now I have revenues of hundreds of millions, and I am supporting tens of jobs. That is the story that I want to hear. And it's not difficult. We know that agriculture is probably the biggest sector of the Kenyan economy still. 20% of the Kenyan economy is still agriculture. And now we are emphasizing value addition to that, to agriculture. So the ideas that you have today will support you to add value, so that then you are part of the 20% of that, of the Kenyan economy. And it is big. That 20% is probably worth about 3 trillion every year. So you can imagine, even if you do your strategy and say, I just want to capture 5% of 3 trillion, how many billions will you be doing? Isn't it? So when I say that I want to come and see you doing hundreds of millions or tens of millions, it is doable. Because one, we know that people have done it, and we know that the market opportunity exists. And that market of opportunity has a value, to it. As I said, 3 trillion Kenya shillings. If you say, I want to capture 5% of that in the next 5 years, do the maths. You will know what number we are talking about as it were. So the long-term benefits of being part of this competition are obvious. You get the opportunity to be supported, and then you get the opportunity to take a piece of the pie, and then you don't have to go around looking for something else to do. This already gives you the opportunity, and it gives you the opportunity for the long term. Because one reason we basically do this is to set you up for the long haul. So 20 years from now, you probably will have forgotten where you started, but we'll be here to remind you that, on the 10th of November 2023, we were seated with you at a hotel in Parklands, listening to your pitch, see where you've come. What that will do is not just benefit you, it will also demonstrate to other people coming after you that all this is doable. And that's the most important thing. We don't just add value to you, but you also add value to others. That's the most important thing, because that is what ensures that we have a steady pipeline of people who are interested in agribusiness. We know what the barriers are, but we are here to support you to overcome those barriers. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing all your pitches. I'll be in and out, but I will ensure that for everybody who is pitching, at least I see part of it, so that when I come to see you in the few years to come, I know exactly where it all started and how it all looks. So thank you once again. Happy to see that you all have very happy faces. I know it's been a difficult journey, but as they say, nothing worth doing is easy. If you find it easy, then probably you shouldn't do it, because it's only through overcoming the challenges, overcoming the barriers, that you derive satisfaction. If everything were easy, probably we wouldn't be seated here. So I know it's been difficult, so put your best foot forward, win today. It will be difficult again from here on, but we are all here to walk the journey with you. So thank you very much, and looking forward to a very good day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Joseph. David, you can just come. Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, so now we have all our judges in-house. I think 2 of them had introduced themselves earlier. Now I will allow the gentlemen, because you heard the voices from the ladies. So the gentlemen, now it's your turn. Just a quick introduction before we go into the pitches.
Good morning. My name is Kinuthia Dominic, and I am a farmer at heart and practicing. And I am a friend of the farmers, and I am a friend of the youth innovators, and especially in agri. So I'm an agri banker. I wear many hats. I'm an agri banker, and I work closely. I say that I sit on the fence. I work closely with financial institutions, so on the funding side, as a supplier of finance, again on the area of agri-financing. And I also work closely with agripreneurs, all the way from production processing, aggregation, export, everything. So I have a view of either side, from a demand side to finance, as well as the supply side to finance. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to interacting with you and listening to what you guys have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dominic.
Hello, hello. Okay, first of all, my sincere apologies for coming late. So we had a small work emergency we were attending to. My name is Irongo Agema. I'm from Nairobi Securities Exchange. I've been passionate about ESG. We've done TCFD, which is a training on ESG, and we are really passionate. As the NSE, we have a guidance manual that is there for people who want to raise capital. So we are there to support you. On this journey, on green, we did the first green bond in East and Central Africa, that is the ACON. Green bond, we also did the student accommodation, Kwetu, where they did a development real estate investment trust. So we are very passionate. We also worked with the central government when they wanted to do a green bond for the nation, and also the counties, we're also working with them. And of course, we are very passionate, especially for entrepreneurs, because we believe that through entrepreneurship and even the youth who form the largest portion of this population, we are able to change the future. So the clock is ticking towards, net zero. So we want to make sure that we are all involved in it. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Sorry, our sincere apologies. Yeah, and point of order taken. So they are saying they don't know what NSE is. Maybe some may not understand. I believe some of you have invested. How many have invested in Safaricom shares? Nobody? Okay, good. Yeah, so it's a good time to buy more shares. So I come from Nairobi Securities Exchange, which is the stock market. So the stock market brings two people. There are two markets in one. Bringing in people who want to raise capital, like yourselves as entrepreneurs, and people who are looking for investment opportunities. So like I asked, who have bought Safaricom shares or VUCA or other products of the capital markets. So you can get to invest and grow your wealth. So we are that market, and we are really passionate about growth of this economy, and also for individuals, companies, and even the counties. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, David, for that. So for our participants, I think now you've seen we have real human, not AI. So these days there's AI, there are robots powered by AI. So these are real human beings that will be listening to your stories. So before we begin, I think I'll just invite Juliet to have a short session with our judges. But as she does that, I know we are all, as I said earlier, that we are farmers. And before we dive into this field of agribusiness, I'm sure we'd want to warm the soils first. The soil is the pitching. So I want just 2 volunteers to tell me something interesting about your connection with farming and which tool you can't do without if you have to be successful. Just any volunteer. No one wants to volunteer. There's a gentleman over here.
Hello everyone. My name is Derek Murithi. I'm a farmer. I work with agripreneurs on the ground. And interesting enough, I've come to have the challenges as a farmer and as a young farmer who wants to venture into farming early. So for me, it's not about retiring. It's about starting and planning my retirement earlier. And some of the tools I cannot do without is technology. Yeah, technology has really empowered my efficiency and effectiveness when I get challenges from other young farmers and also senior citizen farmers. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so you see this technology. Yeah, thank you. So thank you. So as we prepare to start our pitches, I know all of you will be pitching, so I would request that Just as just saying what will be the best time, because that's when even if we do the first speech for the second one, then we can break. So as our judges are being briefed, just for housekeeping, in terms of managing our time, each of the finalists will be given 7 minutes to pitch your idea. Then we'll also give the judges 5 minutes to ask questions and clarifications. And we'll have my timekeeper here. So once you start pitching, she'll look at her and she'll be showing different placards for the different time, the amount of time that is left for you. So as we prepare to begin, I'll request that the following 9 move to the breakout room. That is Ayub Gitonga. Yeah, Ayub Gitonga, Esther Wanjiru, Faith Chepkrui, Jacob Maina, Lydia Ward, Laimo Magani, Marion Cherop, then Kubale, Nura, and Stanley Ngeli. The rest can remain here. If you've not heard your name, you remain in the room. Yeah, so now, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine a symphony of seeds, a choreography of cultivation, and a harvest that dances with abundance. So that is what we are going to have from now. And today, I present to you young ventures that just don't do the sowing of crops, but they orchestrate a harmonious future for agriculture. So welcome to the pitches where innovations will meet cultivation and where we cultivate not just crops, but possibilities. So that's what we'll be doing today. And our first participant, we've all heard about Madenge, an invasive crop. And our first pitch will be Madenge Maisha, which is an innovation that is done for purpose of mitigating hunger and lack of pasture for the domestic animal in ASAL regions. As we all know, this crop, when it's there, it becomes very evasive, And the business model that this business is planning to do is highly sustainable, hence immense social, economic, and environmental impact. So welcome Abdihani Ahmed, who is our first presenter.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdikani Ahmed from OAB Enterprise in Garissa County that envisioned to revolutionize pastoralism through innovation. Pastoralism in arid and semi-arid regions through innovations that nourishes and sustains livestock. I'm a pastoralist myself. I trade in livestock and I produce fodder at the same time. But the biggest challenge that we have in our area is perennial drought as a result of climate change due to global warming, which is putting a lot of pressure in our community, in our people, forcing us to look for pasture from one area to another, resulting in conflicts and putting pressure in the most vulnerable people in the community, who are the women, youth, and children, due to prolonged labor, because they are the main herders in our community. In Garissa County alone, in the year 2022, we have lost over 2 million livestock due to drought and lack of pasture. And the population density of livestock in Garissa County is over 80 million. And the current rangeland that we have is not enough to feed this number of livestock all year round. On the other hand, we have an invasive tree that is taking over our grazing land, known as the madenge tree. Then at Oshabe, we are trying to transform this invasive madenge tree, which is rich in protein, combine it with other raw materials that are available locally to produce a highly nutritious animal feeds for our livestock. Our main customers are livestock keepers and agro farmers in Garissa County. Our opportunities that we have in Garissa County alone, we have over 100,000 households that are rearing livestock, and the population density of livestock is over 80 million. The average demand of livestock in a month in Garissa County, just the average, is over 2 billion kgs. Our current market share is 0.001%, and our target market share is 1%. At Oshabe, we make revenue from selling madenge fodder, from selling grass fodder, which we have our own farm. We also trade in livestock, and in the future, from next year, 2% of our revenues will be generated through training farmers by the Oshabe team. Currently, we have 20 paying farmers, and our annual turnover is 1.6 million. We have a growth margin of 2.5%, and we have 200 users as a general, but out of it, we have 2 customers who are permanent, 20 customers who are permanent with us, who are paying constantly. And we are taking a growth margin of 5% per quarter in the coming years. Our opportunity, our market and sales and our sales strategies in Garissa County, the luck we have again is that we have the biggest sub-Saharan livestock market in sub-Saharan Africa, the biggest, serving Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, then to the Middle East. We are going to install a market stall, fodder stall in that market. We will use our radio vernacular, Star FM, our Somali vernacular in our locality that speaks both Somali and the Borana language. We will do farm visits, we will participate in expos and trade shows, as we currently do, and we will do partnership with stakeholders and other development partners in Garissa County. Currently, we are trying to partner with ILO and USAID. We have a robust team that is running this program, led by myself, Abdikani Ahmed, as the manager and the team lead. We have Ebla, a dedicated farmer, who is our operational team lead and our accountant. We have Abdulwahid Ahmed, who is our marketing lead, and also is a technician. Our main competitors are animal feed manufacturers in Thika, who usually come in during the drought season. But the advantage we have over them is that we have a strong market presence, because we are there all year serving our people. And we are also the only madenge fodder processing farm in Garissa. We have the technical abilities and the experience in animal feeds because we have been in this sector for the last 10 years. We are reliability to our customers, and we have a strong reputation among our customers. We have a unique product, which is making madenge fodder. These are our revenue turnover projection for the next year from our cash flow. We set a growth fund of 1 million shilling for this venture, and this is how we intend to use. We are going to, at the top, we are going to purchase a miller machine with 14% of the resource, while a feeds mixer machine, we are going to purchase it with 22% of the resources. Here is where the main lies, the pots, whereby aggregation of these pots, here is whereby now we are going to impact on our people in two big ways. First, job creation, because those who are going to do aggregation of the pots, madenge pots, are youth and women. And at the same time, we are going to cap the invasiveness of the madenge tree, because as the animal feeds from madenge and they move from one area to another, they try to transplant the madenge tree to new grazing zones. But with OAB Enterprise, now what we are going to do, we aggregate these pots, grind them, mill them, so that, because when the animal feed on it, they are not able to digest the seeds. They are very strong. So when they move to new places, the seeds now will start germinating on that area. But through OAB, we will be able to cap this and reduce the invasiveness of the madenge tree. We are going to, 18% of the resources we are going to use to purchase maize jam for processing and improving the madenge tree, 7% for molasses, 18% we'll be using for the research, while at operation cost we are going to use at 9%. Our partners are the county government of Garissa, KCIC, Garissa Farmers Network, where we are the board director. Abla is the secretary to the board. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, where we are also a board director. I am the youth in business director in Garissa County. Then we have ACD as a partner. What is next for OAB Enterprise? In the year 2024, we are trying to establish fodder processing plant, and we will do more research and development. In 2025, we will go into install 3 fodder stalls in the feeder markets, the 3 main feeder markets in Garissa County. Thank you.
I can go first? Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Ahmed. I think for me, one question, there was a slide there that you went very fast. The one on the traction. Was it the traction? No, the financial, sorry. Yes. Yeah, that moved very fast. I didn't have, yes, I was keen on seeing this because just a clarification on this particular slide. You mentioned the turnover you mentioned of 1.6 million is relating to the most recent year, right?
Yes.
The 2.5% growth rate is based on what? And I would also be keen to understand the skills of your team.
The skills of my team?
Yes.
Okay. These are the projections for the next year, 2024, based on the revenue turnover that we are making in our cash flow. So this was directly derived from our cash flow. My team, Abla, is a farmer who specializes in farming. She is a robust farmer. On the other hand, for me, I'm a pastoralist, raised in a pastoralist family background, introduced to trade in pastoralism at the age of 10 years, doing after today. So I'm trying to change the way our people and my father were doing initially. Abdul Wahid is our marketing team. He's a holder of a business degree, and he's also a technician in BMIs, Business Information Management. At the same time, now he's the guy, he is familiar with the partner world. He has working for the last 10 years in the donor world. He's also a pastoralist at the same time. So we have a robust team that has experience on this. Thank you.
Hi, Ahmed. Congratulations on that presentation. I just have one question. You said you have 20 paying farmers, yes, and 200 users. Yes. Probably you can share with us what strategy did you use to onboard these 20 farmers? What challenges did you have convincing them that, this is a good idea, and how did you manage that? Take us through that process.
Okay, thank you. The challenge.
Yeah, mine also maybe relate more to that, so maybe you can combine them. And ideally down there, we have had, and maybe of course you are aware, the community considers Madenge to be, as you said, invasive, and they, of course, have been saying that inatoa meno ya mbuzi. So now, how do you change that narrative of Madenge being, how do I put it, bad for the livestock, to now being feed inclusive for their livestock? How do you change that narrative?
Thank you. These users initially, because when you want to convince somebody, you have to put something on the market. For us, we are now having our livestock already, and we constantly trade in the livestock market. So what we do is, during the drought season, when the animal nutrition was very low and people were bringing weak animals to the market, we were able to bring fattened, because we are putting those now weak animals, take to our farms, feed them, then bring them the same within a month or 2 months to the same market. So people were like, what are you doing? So, and we also started with the colleague farmers who are neighbor with us. We have also started with them and partner with them. So 20 of these 10 actually are our neighbors. So, because they have seen what we were doing. People in the market have seen what we were doing. So we were able to build that trust with them. So we told them this is because we are feeding them with our grass fodder, because our people farming in order to feed the animal initially was a challenge. So we combine now two main things here, the grass fodder production and the madenge for proteins, because the goats do not eat the grass, unlike the cattle and the sheep. So that's where now the madenge chips in to improve the protein content of the livestock. On the other hand, the issue of the madenge invasiveness of the poisonous, during the drought season, the only lifeline that we tend to is the madenge. However, it destroys the teeth of our livestock. If you go to our grazing zones, where you rush to is where the madenge remains. You have no other option. But it still destroys the teeth of the animals. So what will you do? That's now where we come in, whereby we aggregate these spots, meal for them, because what is killing animals is not the madenge tree. It is the consumption of it that is destroying the teeth during when they are chewing. That's what's destroying. It is not the tree actually. So now we have improvised that, whereby now we are milling it, combining it with other raw materials that like the maize starch, the byproduct of the maize as they mill in Garissa and other localities. Then we combine and we bring in a more friendly feed, madenge feed to the goats and the livestock, whereby now they will not have the effects of the teeth being destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you, and good presentation, and even insightful opportunity where you convert a problem into a solution. So just a follow-up on the question they had about the madenge tree, and I'm researching also online, and maybe you can verify. It says that the madenge tree also causes livestock deaths when animals feed on its broad leaves that contain poisonous thorns. Yes. So have we been able to now even know where is the real challenge? Because you're saying the seeds do not cause it. Will it now later affect other people? I'm just asking the environmental impact. Because yes, here you have the feed, yes, and you'll mill it, say maybe mill it, have it with the maize and all that. It's fed to them, and then it will be propagated. As it grows, how are we taking care of the environment? What is the environmental impact so that other cows do not go? They eat now the other one, they get destroyed, or now because it is just being pushed everywhere?
Yes. In the Kuldan old days, 10 years, 20 years back, when we were herding animals, our land did not used to have. 20 years back, actually, there was no madenge in Garissa County. It was only within some schools whereby some missionaries brought it. That's how it all started. Then it grew due to its invasiveness. So the challenge is, I herded livestock myself. The animals do not eat the green leaves of the madenge. So whoever says that the Madenge greens leaves when it is eating, because it is only that time that it will able to chew the Madenge thorns. Yes, even the goats. So that's a misconception. Animals, our animals, we have been with them, we have been working for the last 10 years, they do not consume on the leaves of the Madenge. They only eat the pods. And what is that pods now, it's very hard. That is the one which is destroying the teeth. And it happens, that's why we are milling it, because it takes to the extent whereby it will be able even to grow inside the stomach of the animal, and it will kill the animal. That's it. It can grow inside. Imagine that effect. So the environmental aspect is that this thing is taking over the grazing land, whereby we used to have our shrubs, our nice grass, our nice trees to grow when it rains. Now it's not there. So when we cap it and limited it to the areas that, because there's areas that are over drought, that trees do not grow, we limit Madenge to those areas and now aggregate that spot and mill them instead of the current way of whereby these seeds are being transported to our new area of grazing lands whereby there is no Madenge. So that is, now we are chipping in as environmental conservancies there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just maybe one or two more. How long does it take this Madenge tree the shrub to mature or become usable? I'm just thinking of a situation whereby being an invasive species, is there a likelihood that you could run out of the Madenge tree at some point?
This thing is already there. There is an areas that you cannot do without Madenge with it, because there's nothing growing in those areas. And the only option there is the Madenge. That's why we are now going for. Yeah. Done? Okay, thank you. I appreciate all the services provided to me, and I invite you to partner with me in this venture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we look forward to receiving the Madenge feeds in the near future, maybe the next 1 year. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we look forward to that. So our next presenter is Ayub Gitonga, and we've all heard about Internet of Things and how this can be integrated in agriculture. So this innovation is about helping small and medium enterprise farmers to integrate Internet of Things in their irrigation so that farmers can actually grow year-round. So welcome, Ayub.
Morning. I'm Ebu Gitonga from Agritech Africa. I am today here to showcase you about and to tell you more about smart irrigation system for sustainable agriculture. What is our vision? Our vision is transforming modern agriculture with smart irrigation solutions. What are we trying to solve? Today, many farmers are moving away farmers today are moving away from red-fence agriculture. They are relocating to irrigation. Now, what is the problem associated with this irrigation they are moving at? It is time consuming, and it is so cumbersome for those who are doing it manually. It is not an environmental friendly because there is massive wastage of water. Another thing, the crop production is determined by two things: over-irrigating or under-irrigating. So, as an agri-tech, we came up with a solution that will curb these challenges of under-irrigating or over-irrigating, wastage of water, and which will make agriculture more friendly and more enjoyable. So, this the circuit that we came with. This is what we call sensor-based irrigation system. This is what we call sensor-based irrigation system. It has two probes. This is called moisture sensor. This will be placed in your farm. So it will be collecting data on the changes of moisture content in your soil. Thus, it will be sending the data to this component called Arduino. So this, it will analyze what is needed in your farm at any given time. If the water is enough, it will initiate the valve to stop supplying the water. Another thing, we have now what we call smart distribution system. This is what we call now smart distribution system. It looks like this. Many farmers are asking themselves, when they come to our premises, I want to plant 1 acre of tomatoes, and I want to get an elephant that we are presenting our technology to our CS at the Governor Mill County. Legal and advisory, we will be paying 60,000. Set up at the mill farm, 300,000. Working capital, 180,000. And the marketing and sales, 110,000. Demo and demonstration. That is how our circuit is designed. This is where you will be. We will have packaged it to the farmers. What next? You want to scale up, continue training and marketing, product sales, and scale up, and profitability in market expansion. Thank you.
Ayub.
Yes.
Thank you for the good presentation. That's actually, for us who are farmers and doing irrigation, this is eye-catching. Very good. Maybe my questions would be, I don't know whether right now you already have an idea, like how much would it cost a farmer to set up? And secondly, if I'm doing an acre of land, as you said, do I need a bigger unit? Do I need several, or just one is enough? And where do I install it? It is in the farm, and I'm just thinking as a farmer now, how do I safeguard it against theft if it is lying in the farm and I'm in the house at night? And those are some of the things that are just going through my head. If maybe you already thought them through. Thank you.
Okay. So the first thing, I will show you how this system is cost effective. First thing, we did a demo farm, which was about a quarter an acre, and used tomatoes. It's called tunda, which takes only 4 months to mature from first and last harvest. So, in this plantation, we want 630 seedlings. So, according to their research, they say if it is given the best condition, from the first harvest to last, you are supposed to have 5 kgs per seedling. So this will be 630 times 5. So which will be that 150 kg. So from the first harvest to last harvest, this is what you have been harvested. So, and the market price of Kenya averages from 30 to 35 to many farmers. So, times 35. Oh, thank you. Okay. 50. No, it's around 100. Okay. 94,500. So, to a farmer who have this system, you will be getting this to his pocket. Now, if you have not used this system, for you to calculate, to irrigate it and get this, you have to have 2 workers in your farm. So, and it uses 6 months, and it is supposed to be alternate and each and every end of the week. So it will be 16 times 2, and 1 farmer, by now the cashier is paid at 600. So 19,200. So for a farmer who have not invested in this technology of ours, this will be going to manual labor. So you will minus this upper from this. So for the one who have invested in us, you will be saving this. Or now, what we have done, we have constructed an iron shield like this, as you can see here. That is an iron shield which is closed, and it will be pressed permanently and cemented in your farm. So, in terms of security, we have improvised that iron shield. I think I have answered this. Then another question was about the cost. Now, for this circuit board, it can effectively irrigate 1 acre of land. And to us, we have budgeted it to cost 60,000. And this was the question before we set up at 60,000. Even you have rinsing options. So, if in a quarter an acre, it can save this. What about 1 acre, which requires more people to work on that farm?
So that means, like with the census,
Yes.
you have to distribute them through the whole acre.
No.
And as you answer that, if I'm doing maize, maybe it will need a different amount of water.
Yes.
If I'm doing cabbage or I'm doing tomato, there will be different quantities of water required. Again, how do you differentiate, this crop and that crop and so on? Is there a setting where I select, now this crop is maize, or this crop is potato, or this crop is,
Okay. So, in now what we call the threshold point, this component can be programmed according to the specific amount of water to a certain plant. If it's maize, it has its own threshold point. If it's tomatoes, it can be set to its own threshold point. Yes.
Good. I like the passion and also the innovation that you've been able to come up with. So you've shown us the mechanics of what will happen on the ground. I'm looking at the back end. How do you collate, first of all, what infrastructure, maybe how do you have the internet that will now be there to communicate with what is happening on the ground, and how are you going to relay that information to now maybe a central place? Do you have like a dashboard that will be able to see now these things, maybe real time, to start monitoring? And maybe have you been able, or are there plans to measure the impact? What is the real impact on the environment? Because you're saying this is the current situation, but having deployed this, we will be saving this to this amount. So if you can just elaborate further. Thank you.
Yes. Or now, we have two components. We have this Arduino, and we have ESP32. This one is not Wi-Fi enabled. So if you place this, we need to have another software called Arduino, where this one sends information, which can be installed directly in your phone. So when I install this, and then you log in that software, you'll be getting information about what is happening in your farm. There is now who want a modernized Internet of Things or want a dashboard. This is called ESP32. This one is Wi-Fi enabled, and it can communicate to a distance of 14 kilometers from here. It can communicate with which is placed in your farm for, this was for demo, for about 14 kilometers. So we have created a dashboard. There's no time I can show you the dashboard that you have created, which can be showing you the specific moisture content in your cell at any given time. When you log in your dashboard, this one will be generating IP address. So that IP address, you're pasting it to any web design, website, and then it will be giving you information of what is happening in your farm.
Noted. So it would be good. Then the last one was the environmental impact. Do you have like a place where you can be able now to measure what is the impact onto the environment? Because that measurability also really counts. And maybe just then for your advice, then maybe in future you can also just mention the whole setup, because here we are on the mechanics, but the overall picture, even the mobile, is really a good thing. Yeah. But also just comment on the impact.
Yes. On impact, I think that question is not clear enough.
Thing.
Yes.
So for example, you see, even when you are talking about, you have an initiative that's going to have a positive impact on the environment. Maybe will it reduce carbon emissions? What exactly is it doing directly, and is it measurable? You are already on the right track where you have all these matrices. So we are saying by doing this, maybe the wastage that would have gone in terms of water would have been maybe this amount. So we'll be saving X amount, and if we translate that, then this water can be stored, and okay, just the environmental impact in whatever way you're able to bring that out.
On matters of environmental health, this system is solar powered. is solar powered. So there will be green energy. And on another hand, it is solar powered. This means there will be no emissions. It will not be emitting any harmful substance in the environment. So it will conserve. It will be conserving environment. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the presentation and just the energy that you have and passion about saving water. My question is more about just the problem statement. You mentioned that you had somewhere that you had a pilot of 15 farmers, but now I'm in Ushago now, I'm in Meru, I'm a farmer, I want to listen to Ayub. Just take us through that. How have you been able to, speak to a farmer who is on the ground? Do the farmers even know that they are losing water, that they're losing moisture, that it can work for them? And with this pilot, 15 farmers, how have you had that conversation with them to onboard them? If they are they on board? I know you said about a demo farm, but just give us a bit more about that.
Yes, I said on financial projection. I said on financial projection, we are targeting 15 farmers by next year due to the exhibition that we are doing and the cost that we are receiving from different farmers. So, by now, it doesn't have that 15 farmers, but we are targeting them next year. For now, we are doing more exhibitions. We are training people. That is why now the seed of gold, this seed of gold, has cooperated with us so that still it can help us continue educating farmers on the importance of now relocating to sensor-based irrigation systems. Yes.
So that's why I was asking. So say I'm a farmer in Meru.
Yes.
Generally, what has been how have they received what you're telling them? And how have your conversations happened? Do they get what you're saying? And how have you managed to, yes, yes, thank you.
So with this type of mathematics, like some have experienced that they will come to target from, it was done on August, so they have said from next year, they will come to us. Because us, we did a demo, and that we planted tomatoes. We have the real mathematics of what is happening when you use this technology. We have shown them. Some have reached to us, and they have come to that demo farm, and we have educated them from the basis of using this system. We have showed them what will you achieve when you use this technology. Some are happy about it, and they say they will be there next year.
Thank you very much, Ayub. It's quite an innovation. I think I've got one is related to pricing, how your pricing compares to that of the competitors you showed us earlier. And the other one is a suggestion. Given that when you come to such a situation, you may not have live data on an opportunity to showcase the innovation, perhaps you could consider taking screenshots of the data that you're monitoring and how it's being monitored. And I would also be keen to understand what the results of your pilots were looking like.
Okay. So, as I've said, I will start by this point, offering customization and integration and leasing options. You are leasing this project to the farmers. So you have said, you have used 1 acre as an economy of our unit. So you have said, to irrigate 1 acre, you will sell this thing 60,000. 60,000. And you can lease it. So as it goes down, it will be 3/4, it will be that 500. As a farmer who is using a quarter an acre, we will be selling it at 15,000. Thank you.
Oh, okay, and finally, and I think this is one of the challenges we have with technology. So I have seen 2 employees just got fired when the farmer adopted your technology, but this is this is part of it, and perhaps is to think of when you're looking at job creation and social impact is within the model. I'm just seeing 2 employees losing their jobs, and I'm wondering then what happens to those 2 employees, and is there potential for more jobs to be created when this innovation hits the market?
Yes, as I said here, you want to create a manufacturing and a production company. Because this is a new technology, you want to set up a company that will be producing this unit circuit. So we will be creating more jobs opportunity for software developers, electrical engineers, for people who are graduating massively in our Kenya. We will be creating job opportunity for them because we will be having marketing and sales team, we will be having accountants, and many others.
Well, as he goes, this is not a question, yes. Just something to go and think through. Yes. So you just mentioned now about leasing. One of the comments I wanted to make to you was to maybe, even if not now, to consider a pay as you go. You know, like what we have in the solar, these things that, you know, you can actually make, I don't have to buy 60,000, you know, I could actually pay as I use it through the season or per season and so on. So that's a good one. The other thing is, as you do your pilot, also maybe consider working with greenhouse farmers especially. I see a very good opportunity for especially greenhouse farmers for this. Open field might be a bit tricky if you ask me because of the, you know, the vagaries of weather and so on. But greenhouse has a controlled environment. And maybe what you should also consider, identify a few greenhouse farmers. You could install it either as a demo or as a pilot or something. Let them experience. If they enjoy the experience, they will pay for it. So you not take it back. They will pay for it. And also maybe consider a partnership. If you're not already in place with maybe like the water harvesting or water wash programs or people who are doing tanks and so on. Because for you to make use of this, you need drip irrigation. And you also need then to have that infrastructure, tanks, pipes, and everything else in place and so on. You may not do those things, but you could already have partners lined up for partnerships and so on. So that was not a question, it's more of something to go and think about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think it's 11:12. So I'll propose that we have our tea. And then we should be back by 11:30 so that we can continue with the pitches. Thank you. And our tea is on this side, so walk through that door and then we'll have our tea. farmers on how to cope with pests and pathogens through early detection. So she'll share her journey on how she's doing that. Welcome, Esther.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Esther Kimani. I'm the founder and CEO of Farmer Lifeline Technologies, where we get farmers ahead of crop pests and diseases. Our vision is to impact 1 million smallholder farmers by 2035 through the timely detection of crop pests and diseases. And the reason we are doing this is because millions of farmers in Kenya, as well as Africa, lose almost half of their produce in every farming season due to the delayed identification of crop pests and diseases. In a bid to find a solution, farmers excessively use synthetic fertilizers and farm chemicals, which emit up to 9.8 billion tons of carbon annually. That's about 24% of the total greenhouse emitted. And their excessive use also leads to soil degradation. The reason this problem has existed for so long is because smallholder farmers have had to rely on either very expensive technologies, such as the drone that charge $100 per hour to fly over their farms, or call one of the outnumbered extension officers that we have, some who will take samples to labs and come back 3 weeks later with the diagnosis. So these have not only been expensive for the smallholder farmer, but also lacked the timely detection of pests and diseases required. And so, having studied a degree in computer science and meeting an able team, we developed and patented the first ever solar-powered crop pest and disease detection device that leverages AI and machine learning for the timely detection of crop pests and diseases with an accuracy of 97.5%. It's able to detect over 12,000 species of pests and diseases and able to predict even pests based on heat waves. So this is Zuri, one of our customers. She has 5 children and relies fully on agriculture to feed her family and meet all their basic needs. So imagine Zuri had abandoned farming due to the pests and diseases on her farm causing losses. And that was not only her story, but also for other farmers around her area. So when she reached out to us, we delivered the device and permanently mounted it on the farm. And she only pays us $3 per month, as opposed to the drones that would charge $100 per hour. So how the device works, it has a solar-powered camera that captures images on a radius of 600 meters. And in the event of a pest or a disease, Zuri is notified through this SMS on the mobile phone that contains the crop type, the pest or disease that has been identified, and if it is a high-risk pest, it not only notifies Zuri, but also the nearest extension officer near her for quick action. The text also contains recommendations of affordable, health-friendly, and carbon-negative farm chemicals and fertilizers that she should apply. And we've also added recommendation of drought-resilient seeds and pest resiliency that she should plant with maximum yields within the shortest period of time. Then we've also added a weather forecast of 8 days, and all this information is uploaded to our live data analytics dashboard for future decision-making and policy-making. Now, Zuri is able to earn a decent income from her farming. Her soils have improved because she's able to apply the right chemicals in the right quantities, and she's now able to, just like other farmers, afford otherwise expensive information. This is the impact with your support that we want to scale to 23,000 farmers in Kiambu with a target of reaching 1.01 million farmers. We have a market of about 7.5 million smallholder farmers here in Kenya. One device is able to serve 1 acre, and with the kind of land fragmentation that we have in the target region, 1 acre is divided among 3 farmers. So each one of these farmers pays us $3. So one device serves 3 farmers within that 1 acre, and each one pays us $3 per month. So we earn $9 per device per month. We are also looking to commercialize data from our devices. On the basis of affordability, sending timely recommendations and solutions, 24-hour surveillance, and live data analytics, Farmer Lifeline beats all our competitors. So we've grown gradually from doing our feasibility studies and growing our monthly numbers from 900 to last year's 2,000 monthly users. We have a Kenyan patent and have filed an African patent. We have an exclusive manufacturer's agreement to protect our innovation. Then this year, we've been able to send over 1.4 million text messages of alerts. We've detected over 8,000 pests and diseases, 2,500 of which were high-risk pests and diseases. Then we are able to query a global database with healthy and infested crops, meaning our innovation can be used anywhere in the world. So we are looking to grow our numbers to 10,000 monthly farmers by next year. Then we've grown our revenues gradually from recording losses in 2020 and gradually growing our profit margins to where we are right now. All this would not have been made possible without an able team of 6 with expertise from software development, agronomy, finance, and even marketing alongside an able board. Our ask is of 1 million Kenyan shillings. And with your support of 1 million, we'll assemble 150 more of these devices. We'll be able to have distributed and trained farmers within the second quarter of next year. Then we'll impact 3,500 more farmers and finish our patenting process at the African level. I'll conclude by reading a quote from His Excellency, Paul Kagame. I'm inspired to see such an innovation from such a young entrepreneur. Carbon farming is truly here with us. And as the innovator, I assure all of you that you shall be proud to have given me the wings to fly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. Thank you. Yeah, back to our judges.
Wow, wow. That's a nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah, good presentation. Well, I like it. My question is, so according to you and your setup, you own the device, you install it as a farmer, on the farm, but the farmer does not own it, so he kind of leases it from you or pay as you go, like, as you said.
Yes, correct.
So if they don't pay, you can actually go and pick it out.
Yes, and use it with a different farmer.
Okay. The other question maybe more is, that also means that for you to do this, you also need the internet. So if I have a farm as a farmer, and this device is installed in the farm, and I'm also now thinking this from a demographic point of view, considering the majority of the people who are involved in agri at the moment down there in the village, my father, my mother, and so on, who are bit aged, so they don't necessarily be having internet or be able to make use of these devices that we have. So how does it connect then the farm and the data and the farmer, and then does it also maybe capture the pests which are thieves? I mean, if it can see these small things, farmers are also struggling with them.
Yeah, with theft, true. Yes.
So does it also maybe incorporate like, alerts on, intruders on the farm?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe you can answer that.
Okay, allow me to respond to those two, and thank you for the questions. Those were some of the things that we had to consider. For example, one, using a solar powered, not only for renewable energy, but based on the different farms that you're going to be getting, you might find that even finding a mast of electricity maybe in a big portion of land would not be possible. So that's why we're using the renewable solar panels. Now, number two, when it comes to the technology we're using the GSM technology. GSM technology is the SIM card that we all use. Meaning, if someone has a smartphone, if they have a buttoned phone, what we call the Tululu, they also can receive the SMS on their mobile phone. So this has helped us bridge inequality between a farmer who is in the rural areas and one who is maybe in the urban areas, because they are all able to receive the same SMS, and the pricing has been affordable for the farmer. Then you've asked about whether it can be used also as a control measure for security. That's one of the things that we've identified also as we are scaling our innovation. So in addition to pests and diseases, there are farmers who are maybe in Nairobi and they have their farms in their rural areas, and they would want that kind of monitoring. So we are heading there, and that is it's not hard for us to do, because that is based on the algorithm that we use the device for. We can time it to set the algorithm to detect the pests and diseases up to a certain interval, then come back to being a camera, again for the surveillance and send the alerts. And how we can be able to do this is because each one of them is able to send data in real time onto our data dashboard, including if someone removes the device from the farm, one, we are getting an alert on the dashboard that the location of that device has changed. Number two, even if someone takes that camera and uses it in a different context, it will not work. The algorithm that has been set on each one of the devices will not allow them to work unless it's on the geographical location that it was mounted.
Hi.
Hi.
Fantastic presentation. I like that it was, precise and succinct. I have 3 questions. You talked about 1 million customers. I would like to hear how you've thought through the journey of onboarding the 1 million customers, because 1 million is a big number. And then apart from Zuri, do you have another pilot that you have done? Mm-hmm. And then why $3? There must be some thinking behind that.
Okay, I do appreciate that question. Yes, 1 million farmers are quite a number. And our go-to-market strategy is one, farmer cooperative groups. That way, we can meet more farmers at lower marketing costs. And we've identified that at least 60% of the farmers that we are working with or are targeting are found in farmer cooperative groups or women groups or even farmer groups. Number two, we are looking at a time when we partner with organizations that can pay on behalf of the farmers. And these are organizations that already have a database of rural farmers that they are already working with, and that can boost our go-to-market strategy, as well as remove the payment from the farmer directly, and we receive the funding on behalf of the farmer. So that's one that we're able to do. So it's not a pilot, it's already been rolled out. We've already had a number of these devices in use. And on this map, we've just used some pointers to show us where we've also tested the innovation to see whether it's going to send data accurately, just as any other device that has been mounted here in Kenya. We've also received an invitation to test it in Italy with one of the programs so that we see again how fast it's able to send the information to us. So this innovation has been tried and tested. It can be used anywhere, not only in Kenya, but even as we scale, it can be used anywhere in the world. Again, this is enabled because we are using a global database API. The global database API has information from researchers all over the world of different plants, different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of fruits, meaning wherever I mount it, it can still work as one that is here in Kenya. You asked the question of the $3 as well. So we started with selling the device. It was a very small device that could be held by the hand. Now that cost was very low, and we were selling it at 2,000. But we realized anytime we want to do like increasing the capabilities of the device, that device is already owned by that farmer. But when we own it on a leasing model, even if we want to add the functionalities and even how it's working, we are able to do that because we own the device, and we just need to go and continue training the farmer. So that's where the trainer of trainers come in. They help us in disseminating also that kind of information of capabilities that we've been able to do. So if we go to Machakos, we are able to employ other TOTs to help us in disseminating that information. Why $3? So one device costs us 5,000 Kenyan shillings. And why it comes to 5,000 Kenyan shillings, we're able to bargain. When we assemble the devices in masses, like what we are asking for, of 150 devices, we're able to negotiate for a lower price when it comes to the device. So with the 5,000 Kenyan shillings, 3 farmers paying $3, just do a conversion of 100 shillings, that's about 900 shillings. If you divide by the 5,000, that's a break-even point of the 4th to 5th month of the device. And beyond that, that would be profit for us. So that's why we settled at the $3. And not only that, we are working with a smallholder farmer. We tested the willingness to pay during the feasibility study. And we realized that if you set it too high, then that is not your market. We are looking at a smallholder farmer, and that was like a threshold that most of them were willing to pay.
a good presentation, Esther, and well articulated. I like the numbers and how you've been able to scale out if it is your market, and also the innovation itself, patenting it. That is really good so that you can be able to protect and also the potential for it to scale up. Why 1 million? Why not 20? Why not, you know?
Okay.
All right.
For the farmers or for the ask?
For the ask.
For the ask. That's a good question. I am here for the 1 million as given to me as a proposal by the KCIC, Vijana and Agribiz. And the reason is we are looking for more. The journey will not end here because the problem is bigger than the 1 million that we are asking for. But we know the impact that the 1 million is going to have. First of all, we've also done a pilot in Machakos, and it's an area that is considered arid and semi-arid. And we realized that an area that had been abandoned can now produce food to feed families and even for farmers to earn a decent income. And not only that, with these 150 devices, we are looking at farmers earning from carbon credits. And how we are doing this 150 will also serve the 3,500 who can also begin now earning more income in addition to their agricultural activities. On our data dashboard, we're able to track their carbon footprint. So with the recommendation that we have of carbon negative farm chemicals and fertilizers, we're helping them do something called carbon sequestration, just to ensure that more carbon is held into the soil. But farmers have not been earning from this. And here comes a technology that will enable these farmers to begin earning from that. So the 1 million will push us one step ahead to reaching our vision of 1 million smallholder farmers by 2035.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just wondering again, not necessarily maybe a question. If I have a maize farm, and I have this device installed in one of the corners of the farm, and one device is serving 3 farmers.
Yes.
And I have a maize farm. So how does it then, like, I'm just trying to think loudly here.
Yeah.
You know, like go through the maize farm and see that farmer's farm and the other farmer's farm or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the question right. How is it able to see? Okay, that one will just have to adjust the mast of the device. So if I'm on a farm with kales and spinach, it will be quite low towards the ground. Then when I'm going to a farm with even fruits or with maize, I'll have to raise the mast even higher. One of the features and capabilities we are adding also to the version 3 is an auto rotation feature, an increased radius, and even fog lights. So if in such kind of a farm, if I mount it at the center with a high mast, I'm able to cover a longer distance and an entire one. If you looked at the image here, it's only facing one direction. And the one that we are working on has a 360-degree coverage, meaning more farmers are being served by one device. Yes.
Thank you very much, Esther. For me, a follow-up in relation to that question, because you mentioned that when a farmer does not pay, then you take away the device. If farmers are sharing, what happens? That's one. Secondly, I'll be keen on understanding your operating costs as far as maintaining the gadgets is concerned. And third, you mentioned you're also looking to engage with organizations that can pay on behalf of the farmer. I would be keen to understand the type of organizations you'd be looking to engage or you're already engaging with, because if these are donors paying on behalf of the farmers, then that brings in a question of the sustainability of that income stream.
Okay, thank you for that question, for those questions. I'll start with the first one, that if a farmer does not pay, we remove the device. So on the data dashboard, we're able to see the device that has been paid and which one has not been paid. So the time that we unmount it is when those farmers are no longer in need of it. We cannot remove that device if we still have 2 farmers who are still in need of that device, and it will still continue earning revenue for us. The second question was on... on the maintenance of the device. We guarantee them, like for 5 years, you will not touch that device. It's proven in windy, rainy, dry, and even misty kind of environment. So for 5 years, we give that kind of a guarantee for that device. And then again, it belongs to us. It still belongs to us even when on the farm. So we leverage on the TOTs on the ground to also help us with the maintenance and looking at it, how it's still working, and the developers on the back end to look at how it's sending information onto the data dashboard. When I talked about organizations that can pay for farmers, I'm not looking at donor money, but this is meant to help us assemble enough devices as we scale. You find that you could be meeting a number of farmers that have not yet paid that entire amount that you will need. I mentioned that if we want to reduce the cost for our devices, we have to assemble them in bulk. So such kind of a partnership can enable us, it could be an equity investment, it could be a convertible debt for us as a business as we grow, so that we're able to assemble enough devices to serve the markets that we get. For example, I mentioned the 23,000 here in Kiambu that we've identified through cooperatives. And we are looking at you to invest in Farmer Lifeline with the 1 million to help us assemble the first 150 devices to get to them. And from there, you place us on a runway to get to the 23,000.
I see the MC. Just one quick one.
Yes, please. Yes.
Carbon credits.
Yes.
How is that gonna work?
I know. It's the same question that I have as you. And that's why we're reaching out to programs like Agribiz, Vijana and Agribiz. We know that Vijana and Agribiz, KCIC and all these partners have the right connections that we need to get here. And one of the main reasons we also applied as Farmer Lifeline is to tap into this network, not only of the partners, but also the farmers that we can get through this program. Now, this is something that is actually very new. There's this 19,000 metric tons of carbon that we are able to track from our data dashboard. We need your hand to hold. You need your hand to hold us and guide us as we form a revenue model around this. One is so that the farmer is not exploited, and at the end of the day, they don't have something that is a key resource to them that they are not utilizing that can still boost them as farmers. We are looking at eradicating poverty, hunger, and inequality. And we know that with the right partnership, with KCAC and Vijana and Agribiz, we have found the right place.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you. So our next participant will be Faith Chepkurui. I'm wondering whether that's Faith. Yeah, but it must be Zach. Okay, that will be Zach on behalf of Faith. So we know that there are many people, particularly aggregators, who have a challenge in terms of managing data and keeping all that. So the enterprise have come up with a smartphone device that will help. So let's hear from Zach.
Sorry, good morning, judges. My name is Isaac Chumba, a co-founder of FarmTech Automation. I'm not Faith. Faith is the other co-founder. Okay, at FarmTech Automation, our vision is to leverage in technology in making farming one of the most profitable and attractive venture. Today, I'm going to tell you about a story about my mother. I was raised up by a small-scale dairy farmer in Wasingishu with only a single cow. With the little milk she could get, she used to supply those milk to cooperative. And time to time, during payment, that is end month, she used to complain that she's not getting the right pay, that she's paid less than what she supplied. Back then, I didn't understand. 2 years ago, we decided to deep dive to know what was the problem. And we were shocked to what we found. We found out that approximately 1 million or over 1 million small-scale dairy farmers doing smallholder dairy farming do not usually get the rightful pay. Why? Still on that, In 2016 and 2017, Githunguru Dairy, here in Kiambu, one of the most modern cooperative, reported to have lost 100 million in a single year. That is in between 2016 and 2017. What could be the reason? We found out that in majority cooperatives, daily collection are manual. They can easily be compromised. They are not transparent. They are inefficient and low in data security. Take a look at this. That far picture, I took that picture on 3rd this month. That was a cooperative in our village doing collection that way. There's nothing given to farmers. No receipt, no anything. Recorded that way. Another cooperative is doing this way. And you know what is worst? That data is stored in this bar. Supposingly it rains, and you know drift. What is the probability of raining? Or a malicious person decide to steal that bag. Farmers will not get paid. In Kenya, we will say kimemuramba. Okay, so what do? So we came up with a solution, a low-cost system. A gadget like this that does 3 things. One, at collection point, the data is fed in the system that you have collected, like 3 kilos. That information is sent to the servers of the cooperative. The second thing it does is send SMS to the farmer. The third thing it does is print receipts. And I can demonstrate with one person here. This is the gadget. I will try to demonstrate. Okay, what you just do is select the supply number, just like that, and the kilos, could be 5 kilos, and you save it, just like that. It prints receipt. At the same time, it sends that information to the cooperative server, and at the same time, it will send SMS within a minute to the farmer. It also creates bankable records and facilitate payments. We will discuss that. Okay, our target. Since this thing can be used on other sectors, but we are focusing now on dairy. It can be used on tea. We are focusing on dairy cooperatives, which are around 689 registered in Kenya, with over 1 million farmers. Our revenues, we charge on that SMS send, which will cost a farmer at most 30 shillings in a month. That is 1 shillings per day. We also charge on transaction payment and onboarding fee. Currently, we're working with 3 cooperatives. We have served over 5,000 farmers, sent over 450 SMS, and our current turnover for the past 1 year has been around 480,000. Our marketing strategy. We do visits, cooperative visits, incentives for referrals, fixed time free demo. This one is one of my favorites. Usually cooperatives have annual AGM. 1 week before that AGM, we usually give the cooperative a free demo for 1 week. And then on AGM, we ask farmers on feedback. And in most cases, 90% of them will say we need that. That's one of my favorites. And cooperative management training. We have a team of 3. We combine experience of 14 years. We are seeking to onboard 1 on finance, but we have an agriculturalist, developer, and marketer. We are looking to onboard 1 on finance. Our financial projection. By the end of, we are projecting by the end of next year, we have onboarded 40 cooperatives with an average of 200 farmers per cooperative. We'll be able to make 2.8 million. In the next 5 years, we are projecting to onboard 250 cooperatives. With the same average of 200 farmers per cooperative, we'll make 18 million. Our competition. Most of our competitors are doing the SMS part, but they don't have the software that does the aggregation process. And the other one is on payment. They don't process payment. We are seeking 1.1 million to finance our budget for the 2024. Currently, we have tested working very well with the 3 cooperatives. We want to scale it up. We want to reach everywhere in Kenya. So to reach everywhere in Kenya, we'll need that for the credits, SMS credits. We also need for the wages. In wages, every 10 cooperative will be manned or managed by 1 person in every 10 cooperatives. So we'll hire those people. And system improvement. Our key partners, Advanta SMS, KCIC, and Safaricom for the payment. Okay. Before I'm done with that, but I needed to say something. The last one, can I say? Okay. Basic marketing says when there is demand and you are able to meet that demand, you usually make money. In Kenya, 90% of us are tea drinkers. In that tea, there is milk. We are expecting that farmers who supply those milk are the richest people, but it's not the case. By supporting us, you will not be empowering us only. You will just be empowering the small-scale dairy farmers, back them in the village. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So to our judges.
Isaac Shumba, very good, passionate presentation and practical solution. So mine is twofold. One is the main problem with the farmer. By just digitizing that end, who takes the rest of the bulk? We know like there's Brookside, there are many other people, the KCC and everybody else who's selling milk. Shouldn't we be looking at how maybe they can get more money than just, okay, sealing is good, sealing the problem where the loopholes are, but we are now saying maybe the margin that actually goes to the middleman, because I think most of the money is going to the middleman and not per se. That's why the farmer is not getting the most. So can we scale this innovation and also think what is the thought process whereby we can reduce maybe the value that they get in terms of even that goes to the middlemen to go more to the farmers. I think that is an important one. And then number 2, what is a measurable environmental impact of this innovation? How does it work onto the environment? What is the impact? Have you been able to measure it? Maybe what are your thoughts around that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. One in terms of what the farmers are getting. Okay, when the cooperatives or the aggregators came, they usually negotiate the price better than when you supply individually to KCC, individually to Brookside. On normal case, in back then, if you supply direct to KCC or Brookside, you are given like a kilo 35 shillings. But when it's bulk, like 2,000 liters in a day, Brookside will listen. You say, okay, what do you want? We shall negotiate. But in this case, what we want to close all the loopholes of where farmers have been losing money instead of that price. I know the price they are getting back in my village is quite low. They are very low. But this solution is meant to close the other loopholes where they are losing money before we come on the price. Okay, the second question was impact on environment. On impact on environment, we are reducing the paperwork. That's one. Number 2, collection process in the area usually take a whole day. It could be with tractor, or it could be with a lorry. So the consumption of fuel is quite high. But with this system, it can record up to maybe 3 farmers in 30 seconds. You can do it in 2 hours. You reduce consumption, it improves the efficiency, consumption of fuel. Then on this gadget, we are looking to use a solar charged one, which will not depend on the normal grid. Okay.
Isaac, congratulations. That was a good presentation.
Thank you.
I would request that you repeat 2 things. From a sustainability perspective of this innovation, you talked about your competition and what it is that you're doing differently. So how are you going to, so you've come and now solved the problem of what your competitors are doing. So how will you protect what you're doing so that you make it, sustainable. Even them, they can decide to now copy you and do what you're doing. So 5 years, 10 years from now, how will you sustain this? And then 2, just repeat again on the job creation, the numbers you said, 1% per cooperative. Explain the feasibility of that and practicality of that and the job creation.
Okay, thank you for the question. Let me start with the job creation. I had said on a budget, I had said every 10 cooperatives will be managed or a line person for that by 1 person. So for example, in next year, we are planning to onboard like 40, meaning we will need 4 people doing which there will be system maintenance and assisting the cooperative in case of any challenge. So every 10, 1 person to man that. That is it. In terms of sustaining the competition, in our location we are doing something called system improvement. We want to do what we call USSD enabling, where farmers could check real time from any phone the quantity of milk he or she has supplied the cooperative. Next is our system. Most of them have not designed a system. Maybe they could copy that. I know it's easy to do it nowadays. They could do that. And to safeguard our investment, we wanted to do something, but I don't know, it wasn't sustainable. We wanted to make adoption easy by providing this gadget to cooperatives so that we block the other competitors. Because if we provide and it's become ours. But it wasn't sustainable. We tried that, it is not sustainable. This thing is costly. We would rather buy them, or if they are not interested with the receipt, they use mobile phones like this. It also works on mobile phones. I don't know if I have tried to answer your question.
Thank you, Isaac. I think that was a good one. Maybe my questions would be, one, what motivated you to dive into this problem? And secondly, in the dairy sector, also maybe in the tea sector, which you are trying to address, we also have some people who have come up with maybe close technologies and more so of the digital weigh scale, where now instead of keying in the data, I weigh my milk, and the weigh scale sends this message now to the farmer, and also sends this to the cooperative so that they know what milk to expect. And so ideally, is this something that, do you want to consider weigh the milk or the tea and key in the data, or maybe a system where the weigh scale can actually, without someone keying the data, like kind of then sends the SMS or sends the data to the gadget or to the phone or something. And then you talked about the onboarding fees. One of the ways you are making your money is through the onboarding fees. So in this case, you're onboarding the cooperative or you're onboarding the farmer who is paying for it. And finally, so that I'm done with my questions, again related to the issue of sustainability, one of the costs or the things or purpose for the funding is the paying of salaries for the people that you want to hire to manage the cooperatives. So the question around there is, from your revenue model with the cooperatives, now if you are to onboard the 10 cooperatives that will be manned by 1 person, does it mean that the 10 cooperatives, then the revenue model does not actually sustainably then support the hiring of this 1 person, so that external funding has to come in to actually support or pay for this one guy to support the 10 cooperatives? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me begin with the first question you asked about other people doing this. One time I visited a cooperative in Lessos. They had a system, but the problem was one. It was quite slow in saving the record. So when they were feeding the records, it took time to save, and then you can go on to the next person. So what we have done now is when you just click save, it does that in the background. It allows you to input another one as it does that in the background. So it doesn't delay you. In terms of the weighing scale doing that, it's usually Bluetooth. It is enabled with our system. It's connected with the Bluetooth. And then when you just weigh, it sends that information to the device. Just click save, and it goes. The third question was on slipping my mind. On the people we are hiring. The 10 people managed, the 10 cooperatives managed by one person. Okay, when you onboard 10, when we have 10, they will be able to sustain our staff. We will not need to do any use grant to do that. 10 will sustain one person.
Thank you, Isaac. For me is, I must say when I saw the donkey cart at the back of my mind, I just saw it overturning, and I was wondering, okay, now who bears that risk? But that's not a question for you. So I saw turnover for 87K. I would be keen on knowing what your profitability looks like now and the number of cooperatives you are working with to be able to generate that. And secondly, you mentioned that the gadgets are expensive. It would be interesting to know how many gadgets you would need, whether it's regional or you're working by the number of farmers. How do you determine at what point you need an extra gadget? You know, what drives the number of gadgets that you need to acquire?
Okay, let me begin with, thank you for the question. Let me begin with the last one, the number of gadgets. Usually the number of gadgets are determined by the cooperative. Every cooperative might have 10 routes, 5 routes. If the cooperative has 10 routes, for example, collection routes, you need 10 gadgets. If a cooperative has 5 routes, you need 5 gadgets. So the routes that are going collecting the milk determines the number of gadgets. In terms of revenue, you ask about the profit. Our SMS is negotiated with the service provider. We charge 1 shilling per SMS, and the cost is 0.25, a quarter of it. 0.25 cents, and we charge 1 shilling. The margin is 25%. When you include the other costs goes like 20%. So our profit margin is usually 55%. Currently, we're working with 3 cooperatives. Those one.
Okay, yeah, so thank you, Isaac. And say hi to Faith. Yes, yeah, for that particular presentation. So our next presenter is Jacob. And Jacob is pioneering the crop scan, which is a pioneered solar-powered AI-based invention that analyzes soil and crop health to determine fertilizer application. So welcome, Jacob.
Can I start? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My name is Jacob. I'm the CEO and co-founder of CropScan Technologies. You can all agree with me that fertilizer cost has been on the rise year in, year out. And what is making farmers, and unfortunately farmers lack the basic knowledge and fundamental skills on how to apply these fertilizer that they buy expensively. And this is making our African farmers spend up to 60% of their income to fertilizer only. Further to that, research has shown that poor application of fertilizer is causing farm losses of up to 35% per acre. On one side is over-application of fertilizer. Over-application of fertilizer, which research has shown that it leads up to 9.8 billion tons per year. And on the other side is under application of fertilizer, where farmers under-apply fertilizer. And application of fertilizer leads to what has commonly come to be known as the hidden hunger type of malnutrition, where you are consuming enough food, consuming enough calories, but this food does not have the nutrients that you require. Research has shown that every one person in two suffers from hidden hunger malnutrition, with this problem being even worse for the vulnerable groups like the pregnant women and children. But the question is, what if there was a solution that is affordable and easy for the farmers to know the type of fertilizer to apply and how? And that's what exactly CropScan will do. So CropScan is a device that we innovated here in Kenya that is able to scan any crop leaf and within 2 seconds determine all the nutrients in that leaf, all the nutrients that are lacking, and the fertilizer that needs to be applied to provide those nutrients to that crop. And how we get this, the device is solar powered. It is the size of your notebook or tablet. And how we get this technology to the farmers is one, through when a farmer makes a request to us, he's matched to the closest agent with a device through our system algorithm. The agent goes to the farmer's farm, does the testing. The farmer pays only 500 shillings. The agent takes 60%. We have a revenue share. For us, we take 60%. The agent takes 40%, ideally providing employment to that agent. Within the 5 minutes, the farmer receives this message. It is important to note that crops require different nutrients at different growth stages. So the message that comes to the farmer immediately after the test shows the growth stage of the crop and the nutrients that are required at that growth stage. And for the nutrients that are required, which ones are high and which ones are lacking. And further to that, it shows the fertilizer that the farmer should apply so that the nutrients that are lacking for that crop at that growth stage, they can, the crop can get that. What that does is the farmer is able to produce more food at a lower input fertilizer cost. Secondly, the farmer reduces on the emissions that would have resulted from excess application of the fertilizer. And finally, we solve the issue of the hidden hunger because the farmer produces food that is highly nutritious because he applied the right nutrients from the onset all the way to harvesting. So far, we have signed 2 partnerships with 2 farmer groups. We have assembled 141 devices and distributed them. We have done over 5,500 tests, successful tests. We have managed to get to the finals, top 10, and hopefully the winners for the Agribiz. We have gotten 3 requests for partnerships for the data that we generate from fertilizer manufacturers, 1 from Brazil, 2 from India, and we have a patent pending here in Kenya. On the basis of affordability, we win against all our competitors. Our competitors are those who do soil testing, those who agronomists and lab testing. A farmer is expected to take a sample of their crop, mail that sample to a government lab, and wait for results, which takes 2 to 3 weeks at a cost of 3,000. For us, we do that for the farm at only 500 shillings. They get the results immediately at their farm, and we are able to track all the nutrients that the crops require throughout the growth stage. The value that we give to these farmers is that they get the testing at a 25% the cost they would have gotten for the lab, and only 3 minutes of testing. We are working to reach our beachhead market of 200,000 farmers as we scale to East Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. How we distribute, how we market our technologies through the field agents who go directly to the farmers, and also partnering with the agrovets where these farmers buy these fertilizers. So far, we had 2 years of research and development and product testing. Last year is when we commercialized, did 750,000 in revenue. This year, we are anticipating to grow 2.5 times and do a revenue of 1.8, and next year, grow at the same rate to achieve a 3.5 million revenue. We are working as a team of 6, myself, the CEO and co-founder, a machine learning expert. We have a CTO with who is doing a master's in IT. We have a COO with 6 years operations experience. We have a lead agriculturalist, a chief marketing head, and an intern. We are looking for 1.1 million shillings. We'll use 60% to assemble 138 CropScan devices that will potentially enable us to be doing 4,000 tests, more tests every month, ideally providing 138 jobs to these agents who will be using these devices. On the other side, we want to use 40% increase for R&D to increase the device's capacity to be able to track at least 12 nutrients from the current ability to track for nutrients. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we move to our judges.
Jacob, well done. That was a good presentation. And again, I think it addresses one of the pain points of the farming community. I'm just wondering, comparing the crop scan with the soil testing. Now, with the soil testing, we do this before planting, because then this informs us about the inputs that we are going to employ and what fertilizer to use and so on as we get into the planting season. With the crop scan, if I'm getting it right, then I have to plant, and then now I have a crop, then I'm going out to scan it, and then now it gives me the nutrient requirements for the said crop. So which is okay actually. So I'm just wondering whether then in this case I need both, like do a soil testing before planting and then also maybe do a crop scan, after the crop is established. Thank you.
1 minute. Jacob, I have a follow-up question. It's just similar to that. Probably you could just clarify a bit more how the crop scan works, or even maybe I think maybe we missed the picture of the gadget, or yeah. Okay. Yeah, just explain more. I also had written that soil testing as a question.
Okay, thank you. So once you go with the crop scan device to the farm, you tap it on the crop leaf. The moment you tap it on the crop leaf, within 2 seconds, you are able to know all the nutrients in that crop and which ones are lacking, specifically for the 4 that I showed you. And then what we do there are research has shown that there are 2 types of testing that you can do. You can do one that is zigzag, where you start at one corner and do a zigzag all the way, testing all the crops up to the end. Or you can test all the 4 corners and some crops at the center. For us, we opt for the zigzag testing because our device ideally gives results per crop within 1 or 2 seconds. So the agent comes, does testing on all the zigzag, gets the results, the farmer gets the results immediately on their message. The device is solar powered, and it is solar powered, and then you only need to tap it on the crop for you to get. On the question of soil testing, you realize one of the limitations that we are addressing for soil testing is this. A plant, or let's take an example of maize. Maize we require, as it grows, it requires during germination nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, potassium. As it grows, it stops now requiring more calcium, but as it goes to the flowering and fruition, because of the needing the strength, it now requires calcium again. Soil testing, person will come and do the testing and tell you that your soil does not have maybe nitrogen, but ideally probably the crop at that point does not require nitrogen at that particular growth stage. So when I say that we are able to advise the farmer through all the growth stages, when the person comes for the testing, during maybe the fruition, at fruition the plant requires only calcium, potassium, and phosphorus, probably not even nitrogen. So we give we are able to track the nutrients throughout, and number 2, our level of accuracy. For the soil testing, they will show you the nutrients that are lacking in the soil, not in the crop. So what our device does, it shows you, yes, the nitrogen or the calcium or phosphorus are in the soil, but what actually has been absorbed by the crop and what does it need at that level. So that's how we differentiate ourselves with the soil testing. And then, mind you, by the time the crop gets all the way to the end, by the time you are coming to harvesting, you can already tell that you are producing, the crop has all the nutrients. So by the time the food gets to the market, it is highly nutritious. Number 2, we do our best to track the data that we collect from the devices. So one of the reasons why we were very keen on this program is so that we can also be guided on how we can utilize the data. You realize we collect a lot of data from the market and from the devices in the farms, and then how do we curate that data to commercialize? Yes.
Thank you, Jacob. And I know on one slide you mentioned youth employment, but I wasn't clear how that's coming about, because I'd be more interested in seeing how CropScan is contributed to job creation, but I wasn't clear, and I heard you mention it. The other thing is something else that passed me, if it was there, was the revenues. If you have any revenues at the moment, and also your levels of profitability. Finally, the data that you're able to provide the farmer with, and the nutrients levels and possibly the products that they need. What happens if the farmer, the affordability of these products is beyond the farmer's reach, or is it something you've looked into, or do you work with a partner to be able to supply what would be considered affordable to the farmer?
Okay, so I'll start with the last one. One of the reasons we have highly pursued the collaborations with the agrovet shops is so that, number one, we can recommend what is locally available for the farmer, what they can buy at the agrovet shop. Number two, that is why we are very keen on the data that we are generating, that we can commercialize it and utilize it to the fertilizer manufacturers and distributors, so that they can know which type of fertilizer do they distribute or manufacture for particular regions, depending on the data that our device shows they require. So that's why we pursue a lot of partnerships. For the youth employment, when the agent, ideally, everybody who is, when we buy a device or when we assemble a device and we come to you as an agent, maybe this is a young person who has graduated with a diploma or a degree. We give them that device for free. They don't buy the device from us. They go and start doing, through the collaborations we have with these farmer associations, they start doing the testing for these organizations. For us, for every 500, they only pay us 60%. 40% remains with them. That's how we are able to create jobs for them. When we say that through our ask we'll be able to create 138 jobs directly, it is through the people, the agents, and that will be using our devices. For the revenue, we commercialized last year. Last year we were doing a lot of selling of the devices. This year we have toned down on that revenue model, and the reason we have done that is so that we noticed that when we are doing the sale of the device, our profit margin is only 30%. We get the device at 8,000. By the time we assemble it, it's in the office. Then we were selling at 12,000. That was a very small profit margin that we could not sustainably scale. So this year we shifted to pay per use or a leasing model where, like I showed you, they pay the 500. For us, when we lease the device, we recover our device cost on the 27th, 28th test. From that, everything else that comes after that is now profit. We prefer that one because we are able to scale more at a faster rate, and then it's easier to do the maintenance of the devices because the devices still belong to us. So we will do the maintenance, unlike when we would have sold the device. So, and going forward, we are looking at then commercializing the data that we are getting. If you saw on my traction, we have 3 requests for partnerships, not 3 partnerships with fertilizer organizations. So these are organizations that have come to us. They want to utilize the data to invest in their distribution and manufacturing. But then how do we how do we commercialize that engagement? And we can only get that advice from KCIC. Regarding what you mentioned about the fertilizer that we recommend, we make sure we recommend what is affordable, but more to that, what are the organic solutions that they would have applied due to the nutrients that are lacking, what are the affordable, but ideally the ones that are organic enough for us to recommend.
Okay, so thank you, Jacob, for that presentation, and we wish you all the best. So our next participant is Lydia Award, and Lydia is developing Obote, yes. I think I need to be guided better because I've called two ladies and two gentlemen who have come in. So they're incorporating multifunctional beehives that uses specialized modules. And let's hear from Obote. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Tom Obote from Technophile Research and Innovation Center at the University of Kabianga. I'm studying for Lydia. He's away for some mat leave. So we're dealing with the apiculture industry. So our vision is to revolutionize the apiculture with our multifunctional hive, and those hive, something unique about them, they are able to collect byproduct and product of the bees with ease and efficacy. So let's check at these traditional hives that has a poor performance in terms of collection and harvest of this apiculture product, and can only harvest or fetch 20% of its potential of 100,000 metric ton. And in fact, there are some losses that go between the collection and harvest because of that design of traditional hives. So we thought of coming up with something in our hub, and that is developing a multifunctional hive that has the following features. So the feature number one is a foundation wax, where we install in these hives. And those comb means that the bee does not come and start constructing the comb. They're already constructed for them, and they're just natural, not synthetic. So they just come and start filling those micro combs there. And that means that the harvest time will be halved because you've saved the time of construction of those hives. And now, because of that shape, it is a rectangle, and it is properly installed, you'll have that 3/7 more harvest, because naturally they just construct something like a curve. So these other spaces are left, and there's a waste. Now, coming to the second feature, it is an inbuilt venom extractor. And this inbuilt venom extractor means that you do not have to come with a bee extractor and place them at the entrance. You just have them in, you have the electrode, connect them, and then stimulate the bees to release the venom. Now, per month, you can collect up to 4 grams of the bee venom from one hive. And now, from the market valuation between gold and venom, you have the cost of 1 gram is 7 times that of gold, and that's why it's an equivalent of 28 grams of gold. Now, this process is gentle compared to the existing one because it is having some mild shock, and then there's no, after the process we make the bees docile. Now, we have another technology that we applying in this beehive, which is artificial queen incubation. So those are the structure that we install in there. And now, from one hive, we can incubate up to 30 queen bees, and that means it is 30 colony that are safe because it's only one bee, one queen bee in one hive. So we're targeting commercial beekeepers and also hobbyist beekeepers, pharmaceutical industry to sell to them the bee venom, and also the traditional herbalist because of the beneficial medicinal value of these byproducts and products of the bee. We're also targeting the agricultural department because we know that bee are good for pollination, and also bee conservationist departments. So opportunity in Kenya is that we have 80% of land being arid or semi-arid, meaning agriculture does not do well, but apiculture can do very well in that arid area. And in fact, honey from this arid area is the most valued. Now there's high demand of local honey, of course you know that, and now the government is supporting this modern apiculture by giving loan, grants, tax holidays for these beekeepers, and also mentorship and training. And the global market is skyrocketing at 5% annually. So we're planning to sell the hives at 6,500, pure honey at 700 shillings per kilo, and the bee venom at that price, which is 36,000 per gram. And those traditional hives could go without collecting this amount of money. And we're saying we're collecting 4 grams per month of this bee venom. So right now, we've been recognized by the University of Kabianga, and we're in partnership with the university. We developed the first prototype of the efficacy of 90%, and also we initiated the patenting process with the legal team of the University of Kabianga. We're planning to have more networks and partnership with experts in the apiculture and of course the pharmaceutical industry to see our production go high. So we're planning to do market research to exactly know what our customer need and what they prefer in terms of the product that we're selling to them. We're doing also networking, coming to ground and listening to such events to get people who are really interested in that project. Also, we want to engage our customer and educate them on how to use our product, also using the social media for marketing. That's our team. I'm Tom Obote with a background in apiculture. We have Lydia Award, a BCom expert who is our finance manager. We have Kemunto, who is our legal team lead, in a background in law. We have Dr. Patricia Chepkoi, who is our business strategist from the University of Kabianga and does marketing for the school and also for us the product. We have Dr. Simon Mashare, who is a project supervisor. He's a commercial beekeeper for over 11 years and has the consultancy in apiculture industry. So these are our revenue, our financial, and this is the projection for up to 2026, and you're seeing an increment of the projection by 20% in 3 months. So our competition is from Lua honey and pine hives, and there is Cherry. So we're using those secret sources to compare our competition. Those that do foundation works, only Halua does not do. Those that have inbuilt venom extractor, it's only us. Those that incubate the queen bee, it's only Teric. So we're asking for 750,000 that will be used in the following way. Inventory and stocking will take 240,000. We have technology and automation will take 150,000. We have research and development taking 80,000. We have infrastructure 80,000, marketing 80, and also employee training 80, and then miscellaneous 75,000. That's our contacts, and thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. So, can go.
Hi, Tom.
Thank you. Hi.
Good presentation. I think I'll ask a basic question. What was your problem statement? What pained you about what is going on the ground that made you, and she's Lydia? Your partner is Lydia?
Yeah.
That made you and Lydia sit down and say, this is what we are going to do. We don't like what competition is doing, or it has this type of gaps. Yeah. What was your pain point that made you come up with this
the
information?
ineffectiveness of those traditional lies that we say it only collects 20% of its potential.
No, I want it from your response from a practical point of view. I know one of the things that you said is that you're going to do market research and engage your customers. So it sounds like you're going to do that later. But from a practical experience, which farmers did you engage, etc.?
Yeah, so I come from Kisi, where we use bee as our security in our fence. Like if you have a farm that has crop, you just have beehives around the fence. So yeah, and that's how we were raised. And yeah, money was gotten from that by accident. And then we realized that something good can be done out of this project. Now, after analyzing it, the potential was only 20%, and we thought of what can we do to increase the livelihood of us, or people from Kisi, and everyone around the globe. So that was the thing.
Indeed, these things are very painful, and I've also seen you commercializing the venom. Maybe just, do you have some insight as to the market? You talked it being equivalent to gold. I mean, I don't know, I mean, there's that conversion. Maybe you can go to that slide where it can be converted, maybe the commercialization of that venom. Yeah, there. Yeah, 4 grams is equals to 28 grams of gold. Okay, maybe where is that market? You have insight to that market, and then also upstream. You know, this is downstream in terms of you're looking at the production and all that. But can you speak more even about that market that you're going to engage with? Because once you've provided and maybe the innovation is able to capture good, maybe honey and all that, who's your market? Are there some brands that you're selling to upstream so that it ends up maybe to the consumers? And also the same for the bee venom, and what are the users, who is buying it and all that? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll just go direct. There are some people that are called Savannah Honeys, and they're in the apiculture industry, and they're taking the venom at a contract of 38,000 per gram, not even that 36 that I've mentioned there. These are just for competition. So they are taking at 38,000 per gram, and it's a contract. You just have to buy either hives from them or give them some money to purchase the equipment at a total of 100,000. Then you're getting into a 5 years contract. Those are number one. Number two, we have Cambridge Research, Kenya Medical Research Institute in Kericho, where we come from, where the university is. And they are using this venom as the key raw material for their pharmaceutical product. In fact, bee venom can be used as anti-arrhythmias, anti-arthritis, anti-inflammatories, painkillers, that is, and all those kind of drugs. They have some substance that is called the apitoxin, that is now the raw material even in your Panadol and all those drugs. And they're actually lacking this product in Africa. And it's only in Africa that we have the bee that can sting, the African stinger bee that has the bee venom. So they are getting from outside, those people that come, take our bee, go and breathe there, and then they sell to us the bee venom. Now, we are the African that have the bee that can produce the bee venom, but it is lacking in our market.
Well, Tom, the doctor, baada ya kusumbuliwa sana na wezi, I'm also interested in your security, so maybe we'll discuss later about maybe getting a few hives. Well, good presentation, and maybe one of, not necessarily a question, but more of a comment. I think one of the biggest challenges we are having right now with beekeeping is actually the use of pesticides, which is kind of killing the bee community. So I don't know where that is going, because soon maybe we may not have the bees. And I think we have seen this in the Western world, where they actually struggling with having bees for pollination. And now that brings me to my next point. Apart from looking at the honey, there's also an aspect of bees for pollination, maybe as a service. So we have farmers, like for example, those people who are doing canola, for example. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something to think through on the possibilities of using, the bees as a pollination service, where during the flowering season, maybe a few beehives could be leased to a farm or something like that. Now, my question more is on what is your cost of coming up with one hive? I know you are selling it at 6.5. So what is the cost of coming up with one hive? And I don't know whether right now you have any sales that you have made so far. Thank you.
Yeah, so one hive cost us 5,500. And now, because this was a research project, we've not gotten into the commercialization phase. We first deal with the IP protection. And maybe by January, we'll get into the commercialization phase. It's one of the projects that benefited from research to commercialization program by Kenya. So we've not gotten into commercialization, we just under protection. By January, maybe we got into commercialization.
Thank you, Tom. Indeed, for me, I don't mind the sting as long as I can get the honey. One question is, I'm looking at the 30 colonies created. Then what do you do with them, with all those queens? Won't you start a war inside the hive? That's one. Secondly is, I would be interested in seeing or hearing more about the impact as far as job creation is concerned.
So I'll start with the first question about the colony. Now, so this is what we do. In traditional hives, we know that only one queen can exist per hive. And now, but the insecurity of the queens, of the bees, will make them develop some eggs as emergency queens. But now when they develop, the queen comes and kills them because anataka akwe lone existing. So what we do, we just come and pick the eggs that have been developed as a queen bee, have them in that case, and then return them to the upper part of that hive. Now the queen is just down there. We have the queen excluder, so it cannot come and kill those bees that are there, those that are incubated right there. Now, after incubation now, we just come and take one queen bee, and have them in a hive, one per hive. So that's why I'm saying it is 30 hives that have been created from one hive. So we just have those incubated, then split the hive. This is the way that we do. We do hive splitting, yeah. And then now you introduce those queen bees. And now because of that technology, you're saving up to 2,000 eggs per day from one queen, because one queen can lay 2,000 eggs. So you're saving 2,000 queens per day and times 30 from one hive. Oh, yeah, so beekeeping is one of the activity that actually takes more than half of the SDGs in terms of job creation, community engagement, food, nutrition, and all those. And now in the entire value chain, we get people that are getting employed. From the construction people, from those that are vending maybe the honey, from those that are doing the marketing of this product, for those that are, the entire value chain, people are getting employed. And now one of the benefits for this is that it does not require manpower or that man energy. So even ladies, youth can have this project, and it runs on its own because it does not require any resource that it's that intense.
Yeah, so thank you, Tom, for that presentation. And we look forward to seeing how many colonies you can create, maybe in an acre of a piece of land. Yeah, so as we continue, a round of applause to Tom. We now want to hear about how we can spicy our foods. I'm sure when we'll break for lunch, our taste buds will be looking forward to that. Now I want to invite Limo. Who will also share with us his innovation around spices. So welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, food is a universal language, and spices are its accents, adding depth and character to every bite. My name is Limo Magani, and I'm the proprietor of Adisiates Parties. There's been a war between Kenyans and Nigerians, especially those who are on Twitter. They ridicule us on how bland our food is. Well, I'm here to solve that problem. During our inception and concept validation stage, we noticed a number of problems revolving around youth unemployment, the limited support to local farmers, low quality products in the market, and of course the use of additives, etc. We came up with innovative products to mitigate and fill these gaps. Our products are sourced from farms within the scopes of Kenya, thereby supporting smallholder farmers. And we offer also high quality products and use natural ingredients. We also offer employment opportunities to the youth, thereby reducing the rate of unemployment. During our inception, we had only 4 products, and currently we have over 34 different products ranging from spices, sauces, and marinades. With a population of 53 million Kenyans and a serviceable market of 68.5%, The average consumption rate per Kenyan is 3.4 kilograms, totaling that number up to 124,000 metric tons. We currently have a market share of 1%, and we attain to get to 20% by 2024, our end of financial year. A picture speaks more than 1,000 words. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just but 1% of our market share. Through partnering with KCIC, Invest Africa, Biashara.now, KEPSA, KEPROBA, KIRDI, Bolt, and DHL, we are offered access to skills, access to markets, and access to finance. Well, there's competition in the market from the likes of Tropical Heat, Unilever, who have muscle financial gain, but through the problems that we identified in our problem statement, we have a competitive advantage over them. We support local farmers. They import their spices from India, South Africa, Tanzania. We also have strong B2B solutions. Our products are listed at Chandarana supermarkets countrywide and Carrefour outlets. Our routes to market to help us gain the 20% will focus more on B2B solutions, B2C solutions, and B2G solutions through wholesalers, distributors, expos, trade fairs, restaurants, hotels, butcheries, and other retail outlets. Our marketing strategy revolving around creating educative content, social media, influencer partnerships, B2B sales strategies, international expansions. While currently we are listed, we have customers around UK, US, UAE, and we are seeking to expand our market to other countries internationally. Well, with a dedicated team, I myself, with a background of industrial business origination officer, a CRM, and a marketing officer. In 2020, we had revenues of 525,000. In 2021, we generated revenues of 825,000. In 2022, we generated revenues of 2.4 million, and currently we forecast on generating revenues to 6 million by the end of our 2024 financial year. With a customer retention rate of 75% and over 7,000 customers, we have a 96% positive review. Our financial projections by 2024, we project to have profit margins of 32.2%, and by the end of 2025, we project on having profit margins of more than 57%. We seek 1 million to service our orders and to also purchase machinery. Our next steps in Q1 next year will focus more on budgeting, seed fundraising, e-commerce enhancement, market expansion. In Q2, we intend to set up a production facility. In Q3, export expansions, community engagements to get us to the 32%. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Invest in us so that we can support local farmers, create more employment opportunities, and put Kenya on the map by having exquisite food. Thank you.
Thank you, Limo. Yeah, so to our judges.
Thank you. Very good presentation. That is Limo?
Yes.
All right. Of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So I wish we could have some meal with this spice and indeed join you on that campaign that our not jollof fried rice. It's more spicy than Nigerian or Ghanaian. Anyway, I like your structure and even the market potential and the different things that you've been able to do. The growth in profits is really, and sales is really commendable. I'm looking at what are the risks that you have. I noted you have a risk officer, so I'm keen on what are the risks that you've been able to identify, especially looking at your competition. I've seen you've concentrated on Chandarana. Any reason why Naivas, Quickmart, all of us, even to Mama, the woman with the kiosk there cannot be able to also sell this so that we can add flavor to all Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we are in talks with Naivas, and very soon our products will be listed in Naivas outlets countrywide and also Quickmart. So the risk that we have in our operational risk range from number one, quality. During production process, we can tamper with quality, and that can lead to a product recall procedure, which a product recall procedure is very expensive. Besides quality, there's a risk in political recession, political disturbance, high taxes, of which when taxes are high, our profit margins become low. Another risk revolves around, besides the political risk, besides the quality control risk, we pose a risk on distribution. During distribution, our products can be damaged along the way, of which at the end of the day can be also expensive.
Okay. Yes, you have a follow-up. Okay.
So maybe based on that, so how does that factor in? Because right now taxes are high, all those factors are really high. How does that factor into your ambitious growth projections? Maybe you can go ahead. It was just a follow-up.
I think my question is also similar to that. So as you're answering his question, probably you can share with us, where are you producing this? Yeah.
So we do our production at KIRDI, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, and we aim to set up our own production facility by Q2 next year. Now, in regards to the pricing risk, the taxes being high, initially during our inception, we used to purchase.
In 2020 was 5 to, in terms of turnover. I think you've answered the question of the farmers already from my colleague.